This wasn't a proposal.
She said yes with tears in her eyes. He was already planning her funeral. This is the story of Marcus Webb, a man who spent 14 months engineering the perfect proposal. Romantic, public, unforgettable. But the ring he slid onto Angela's finger wasn't a promise. It was a trap. Before we go any further, 3 things that are going to change how you look at this story completely. Why did Marcus propose in front of 200 people if he never intended to marry her? What was in the prenuptial agreement that Angela's own lawyer refused to let her sign? And why, 6 weeks after the engagement, did Angela vanish without telling a single person where she was going? Stay with me. Every answer gets darker. Marcus Webb was 41 years old and by every visible measure, successful. He ran a mid-sized logistics company out of Columbus, Ohio, drove a clean car, gave to his church, coached his nephew's basketball team on weekends. People trusted Marcus instantly. That was always the thing about him. He had the kind of face that made you lower your guard before you even realized you'd done it. Angela Reeves was 37, a physical therapist, divorced once, quietly, years earlier. She had rebuilt her life with the kind of careful patience that only comes from having had it fall apart before. She owned her condo. She had savings. She had a plan. She met Marcus at a mutual friend's cookout in the summer of 2019. He was charming without being loud about it. Called when he said he would. Remembered small details, her coffee order, her mother's name, the neighborhood she grew up in. By most accounts, Angela Reeves was not a naive woman. But Marcus Webb had been practicing this for a long time. The proposal happened on a Saturday evening in October 2020. A rooftop restaurant downtown. 200 guests, friends, co-workers, family, all of whom had been quietly invited by Marcus under the pretense of a birthday dinner for Angela's best friend. He got down on one knee. She cried. Everyone cheered. The video went locally viral by Sunday morning. What nobody in that room knew, what Angela herself didn't know, was that 3 days before the proposal, Marcus had transferred the majority of his personal assets into a holding company registered in his mother's name. He got down on one knee the same week. He made himself look like he had nothing. The prenuptial agreement arrived 6 weeks after the engagement. Angela's attorney, a woman named Diane Cross who had practiced family law for 22 years, read it twice and called Angela directly. She told her to walk away. Not negotiate. Not revise. Walk away. The agreement contained a clause that would have signed over Angela's condo, her retirement accounts, and any future inheritance from her parents to Marcus, in the event that Angela was ever found to have been emotionally or financially deceptive during the marriage. The definition of deceptive in that document was so broad it could mean almost anything. Diane Cross told Angela that in 22 years of family law, she had seen one other agreement written like that. It belonged to a man currently serving time in Georgia for financial fraud against 3 former wives. Angela went home that night and didn't sleep. She started asking questions quietly. She didn't confront Marcus. She went to the county records office. She talked to a private investigator, a retired cop named Gerald Timms, who agreed to look into Marcus for a flat fee. What Gerald found took him less than 2 weeks. Marcus Webb had been engaged before. Twice. The first woman, a schoolteacher named Patrice, had broken it off and later sued him in civil court for $34,000 in shared expenses she could never recover. She settled for nothing. The second woman, a nurse named Donna, had signed a prenuptial agreement very similar to Angela's. The marriage lasted 8 months. By the time it ended, Donna had lost her savings, her car, and was living with her sister. Neither woman had criminal charges filed. Marcus had been too careful for that. Both of them had said yes on a rooftop. Angela Reeves disappeared on a Thursday in December 2020. No note. No call. Her car was still in the parking garage of her building. Marcus Webb called the police that evening. Frantic. Devastated. The kind of performance that made the first responding officer write in his notes. Genuinely distraught. For 11 days Marcus gave interviews. Stood at press conferences. Held Angela's mother's hand in front of cameras. He was already in contact with a real estate attorney about Angela's condo. Angela had not disappeared. She had gone to her cousin's house in Memphis with her laptop, 3 years of financial documents, Gerald Timms' full report, and Diane Cross on speed dial. She had planned it down to the hour. She knew if she confronted Marcus directly, she would spend the next 2 years in civil litigation, losing everything she had built. So instead, she spent 11 days in Memphis building a case so complete that when she walked into the Columbus Police Department on a Monday morning in January, the detective on duty stopped her halfway through and called the Financial Crimes Unit. Marcus Webb was arrested 4 days later. He was charged with fraud, attempted financial exploitation, and 2 counts related to the earlier victims who had finally agreed to come forward. He did not look charming in the mugshot. Marcus Webb pleaded guilty in October 2021 to 2 counts of financial fraud. He was sentenced to 6 years. He served 3.5 before being released on parole. Angela's condo is still hers. Her retirement account is intact. She went back to work the Monday after his sentencing and has not spoken publicly about the case since. Patrice and Donna both gave victim impact statements at sentencing. It was the first time any of them had been in the same room. Patrice said afterward that she wished she had trusted her attorney 11 years earlier. Donna said she wished she had run. Angela said nothing to the press. But her attorney Diane Cross, standing on the courthouse steps, said one thing into the cameras before walking away. Read what you sign. And if someone you love tells you to walk away, walk away. Marcus Webb spent 14 months planning a proposal designed to take everything Angela had built. She spent 11 days in Memphis taking it all back. The ring is sitting in a police evidence locker somewhere in Columbus. He picked it out on a Tuesday, charged it to a credit card in Angela's name. Was Marcus the most dangerous kind of predator? Not because he was violent, but because he was patient? Drop your answer below. Stories like Angela's don't make national headlines because there's no body, no chase, no dramatic arrest scene. But financial predators like Marcus Webb destroy lives just as completely. They just do it quietly, with a ring and a rooftop and a contract you didn't read carefully enough. If this one opened your eyes, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next.